Welcome to the I-80 Club and another edition of Before the Witching Hour. Josh Peterson and a very blurry Matt McMaster on this Sunday morning. Matt, how are you?
I'm turning into Jack Mitchell and his lens flares yesterday.
Yes, yeah.
Right
you made
now.
the joke about him being J.J. Abrams, and now look at what you have become. You can't just do this for the next hour. You got to stop at some point in time. How are you?
There we go.
How are you?
I'm washed. All right.
What the hell's going on with you? Every week there's something.
No, that's not true. Okay. I've eliminated said distractions on my show, on my morning show. I have not been able to limit said distractions on this show. First off, let's just break down what my last 15 minutes looked like. I thought I had my bag in my room. I didn't.
Yeah.
And
that's
so
why we're 10 minutes late.
Yes. So I had to go and get my bag. But then Matt McMaster conundrum for the ages, a tale as old as time. What did I lose, Josh Peterson?
What did you lose? I don't know. Your headphones, your microphone.
I lost my keys.
Oh, classic. Yeah.
Okay.
That's how you roll.
The problem with my apartment is that you can't get into where I park without your keys. And you can't get back into the building without your keys. So this is what I did. So this is just a shining example of how much I care before the witching hour. I propped open 2 different doors with my shoes, barefoot. I ran to the outdoor parking lot. I then hopped the fence. Okay. I got up on a little thing and I muscled up and I hopped the fence and I jumped down in my bare feet, ran to my car, got my bag, and then got back inside.
Did you ever find your keys?
No, I haven't. And then I've now propped down here and we're all
we need to get you a hook. We need to get you a hook and air tag.
Well,
there has to be a way we can fix this problem going into 2026.
Can I tell you this though? Here's the issue. Yesterday I didn't have Big Red overreaction. Okay.
Yeah,
and so
famously.
I partied like I was 21. And I woke up today realizing I might be washed. I might be washed up. I put a lot of miles on the car yesterday, and I woke up feeling it. I'm like, this doesn't happen. This isn't a regular occurrence. So,
and remember, we almost didn't do this. Because my internet was out yesterday. I gave you the out. You could have been laying in your bed now or eating McDonald's breakfast.
How inappropriate of me would it be to decline to do a podcast like this and tell you, I'm not going to do it because I want to get shit-faced? Okay.
I would have understood. I was your age at one point in time. I remember those years.
I'm a professional. Don't ask me what I'm drinking. Okay?
Yeah, definitely. We will not do that. Welcome, and this is Before the Witching Hour. Josh Peterson, Matt McMaster. We do this most Sundays. We've done it almost every Sunday so far in the NFL season. Stay tuned for some details, maybe as we figure it out live on the pod today about what we're doing around Thanksgiving, because Matt will be going home, and so don't know exactly the plans in that regard. But I imagine there might be a Sunday or two off over the course of the next few weeks around the holidays, but we'll be back and ready to go ahead of the playoffs, as now we are, less than 2 months to go until the NFL playoffs. We preview 5 games each and every week. Sometimes it's more because our teams are playing in god-awful football games, and thus we don't want to give them the full 5-game preview. That said, Matt, we got some really, really interesting matchups today, especially once we get into the 3 o'clock window. Very much looking forward to breaking down Week 11 in the NFL. And we have another overseas game happening literally right in front of me, Washington and Miami. I haven't watched much of it this morning because it looks like a terrible football game. Oh, you're muted. Yikes. Nope, still muted. Probably got to unmute it on StreamYard once you get it all plugged back in. Wow, this is, we are off to a start here, friends. Got the Bud Light koozie going on. Yep, now got to probably unmute it on StreamYard, Matt. It's probably plugged back in, and then you just got to unclick it on StreamYard. There you go. Any thoughts on the week of football games we got going on?
Fuck European football.
It's almost as bad as your microphone. Let's just dive into the games, shall we? Yes. Where do you want to start? Which of the 5 shall we begin with? Let's save the late afternoon and the primetime game Let's do those in order at the end. So let's go to the one of the early games where we could talk about one of ours, as you mentioned. We're going to kind of breeze through ours.
Well, I first want to. This is all we need to say about mine. Okay. I have supreme confidence the Bears are going to win today.
Wow. Last week you said you were worried, and that ended up being very founded. Very founded. Yeah, Matt was right. Put it on the billboard. Matt was right.
Thank you.
He can't find his keys, but he was right.
At least somebody can admit when I'm right. I appreciate you.
Got you, fam.
We're gonna kill them today. We're gonna kill them. They're terrible on deep passes. They're 32nd in EPA against deep passes. They're 29th in DVOA against outside zone runs. The Bears run a ton of outside zone. That's what we like to do. We're gonna score 40 points on them. We're going to win. Mike Schaefer, if you're watching this, you can shove it. Okay. The Bears have good culture, and they're motivated from the fact that they shouldn't have lost to this shit Viking team in week 1. Rough. They're going to win today. That's all we have to say. I have supreme confidence. I'm probably going to put money on it.
All right, I'll give you 2 stats real fast, and then we can move on. J.J. McCarthy has been one of the NFL's least accurate passers this season.
Whoa.
He is 44th. You ready for this? Remember, there are 32 teams. He is 44th of 46 quarterbacks who have made at least one start in off-target percentage.
Nice.
So that ain't good. And then your defense, they have allowed the NFL's 5th most touchdown passes this year with 20. So you got the movable object versus the resistible force. Yeah, that could be quite the matchup on that side of the ball. But you're right, man. That was a tough L. I always get so interested later in the year with the cold weather teams who I think are kind of built to be more like dome teams. Like I always thought that was one of the sneaky parts about the Aaron Rodgers Packers that like, if they were a dome team, do they win another couple Super Bowls, right? Because, congrats on home field. Now you have to play at Lambeau. And so I wonder, Bears going into a dome today, do we say like, ooh, look at that offense, a little faster inside. There's not snowflakes falling in Chicago.
God, I love you.
Et cetera.
I love you. I mean,
the
fact that you're thinking about like domes and weather and North teams and like, that's just some it's not sicko shit. It's just advanced shit. You know, it's just veteran football stuff.
Been watching for 30 years.
You're getting me a little worried though, because the Bears kind of are built like a dome team.
They're built like a dome team. Bear weather ain't good.
This was the very nice way of you telling me that, hey, they're probably gonna but they run the ball really well. And Kyle Monangai is going to be an awesome running back next season with his running back duo with Emmett Johnson. That backfield next year is going to be awesome because nobody loves under the radar Big Ten running backs like the Chicago Bears. You go down the list, all right? Jeremy Langford, okay? Jordan Howard. Now Kyle Monangai. They're going to draft Emmett Johnson. All right? The Bears love Big Ten running backs, okay? They just like, so Emmett, come on down, baby boy. We're going to have a good season next year. Bears can run the ball. That's why I'm not fully worried about that. But Caleb does have the 4th most attempts of 20-plus yards downfield. He, though, has been awesome. Awesome.
All right.
He's been great.
So that's your game.
That's my game.
We can go through mine real quick, too.
Go ahead.
This is less even about, like, actual, like, on-the-field X's and O's stuff.
I love this.
Well, you're not. I'm going to make you sad now. This is the first game since the Marshawn Kneeland passing.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, again, not to make it awkward, but like, I'm just kind of interested to see how do they come out because that happened a couple of days after the Monday night game, and then they had their off week last week. It's another playing at the Raiders. I mean, certainly 2 teams that are having very forgettable seasons, but I don't know, man. It seems like everybody within the organization handling it as well as possible. And so, how does that look in terms of like an actual on the field opinion?
Yeah.
I mean, the offense has taken a step back over the last couple of weeks. And, there's an interesting dividing line, Matt. It is when Schottenheimer started donating some of his time to the defense. Going into the Broncos game, he was like, I got to start focusing on the defense as well to help because they are so god-awful. And that is an interesting dividing line between, now it's only 2 games, but one of them was at home, and that at home they had been, darn near unstoppable this season, and they were not unstoppable. They had drives finish in the red zone against the Cardinals. They had multiple turnovers, and then the defense was still bad too. So let's see what happens with them coming off of their off week. And for everyone who has YouTube TV, they're able to watch the Dallas Cowboys tomorrow now against the Raiders. So congratulations to all.
Get your $20 credit, baby.
Yep.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Javonte Williams.
I love how he runs.
Because I was wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. I didn't think he'd have.
I've never heard that guy say that in that voice.
I was incorrect. I shouldn't have done that.
Literally not one time.
What I was going to say, though, is I thought he was going to be trash. I was like, oh, Denver, he was bad at Denver. He had a bad EPA. He had a bad efficiency. He had this. He had
injuries.
That. He's awesome. He's awesome.
He's awesome.
He's great. He's added
fun.
A different layer to the offense. I mean, obviously.
Oh, unplugged. Plug back in. Click the button. Make sure it's all. You skipped a couple. Now there you go. Keep your hands up like this the whole rest of the show.
All right. So George Pickens, though, you guys won that trade. You fucking killed it. So
I like George Pickens.
He's
George Pickens.
Dope. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He also, you need culture's a thing, but you also need some motherfuckers on your team. You know what I'm saying? You also need not everybody can be super nice and be like, oh, I fill up the practice on time and I don't have any problems and I'm just a super great guy. No, you need a little in love life, right? Not every girls don't love nice guys. Girls don't love yes men, right? Girls want to they kind of like assholes, right? It's the same thing.
So wait, what are you saying about me? I'm married.
With a football locker room, right? You need some assholes. You need some weird dudes. And George Pickens is perfect. You need a little contrast, right?
That's why I have Pickens.
The AJ Brown shit, that doesn't really worry me. I'm not really worried about it. I'm not everybody's freaking out about it and everybody's clicking. I don't think they're gonna be. They've been dealing with this shit for years. Thanks for reminding me. AJ's going to be AJ. This is how AJ's been. If you've been following the Eagles, he's a prima donna, but it's never stopped them from winning a Super Bowl. It's never stopped them from going to a Super Bowl. They're going to be okay. Yeah. It's great for cliques. Everybody wants cliques.
We'll get to Matt's second favorite team a little bit later on as they take on the Lions. Jabs writes, McMaster of all people trashing people that show up to practice on time. Yeah, very interesting. You need a guy on a roster who's going to lose their keys. That's what I've been saying it for years. Yeah.
Thank you.
You need a guy that has to prop open the door and run around without socks on and hop fences. You need those types of guys on your team.
Do you know what 16-20 of the zone needs? It needs an immature 23-year-old that grows up in front of our eyes. That's what we need. That's what we need. Wow, I remember being in that spot, Matt, and I do not miss it one iota. I like not being the youngest person on the zone. You'll be there someday. Oh, your microphone just unplugged again. This is The best part now is that when it happens, you skip. It's almost like you're a record and it goes, and so at least I recognize, hey, you're about to mute. Yeah. For all that Yetis have to offer, which is a very attainable price point, man, that little dongle is just the most sensitive thing of all time. And I do not miss my Yeti microphone. You would puke your guts out if you saw my wire situation under my feet right now.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just move on as quickly as possible. All right, let's get to the games we're actually going to talk about. Where do you want to begin? Bucks, Bills?
Bucks.
All right, let's do it. This game is awesome. A couple teams coming off of tough losses last week. Of course, 2 weeks ago, Matt, the Bills win against the Chiefs, and everyone's like, hey, the Bills are back. And now we're like, are the Bills back? They lose to the Dolphins. Meanwhile, the Bucks last week, look, they lost to a good team, a contender, certainly in the AFC, though I'm still not buying into New England actually doing anything this year. But this game in Buffalo, and I just wonder, the loser of it, where do they go? I mean, I guess
great question, Josh.
The Bucks are going to be fine because they have, let's see, they are 6-3. The Panthers are 5-5. So they're 2 games up on the Panthers. I don't think you and I are going to anywhere near think that the Panthers are going to do anything, but they would almost lock themselves into the 4 seed, I guess, moving forward. Sure. And so I just wonder, it doesn't really affect them, I guess, ultimately. The Bills, though, are fighting for a wild card. Now, they are the second wild card team right now in the current AFC standings, and they're certainly not out of the race with the Patriots. If they win today, they move to 7-3, so they'd be 2 games back in the win column, 1 game back in the loss column of the Patriots. But in terms of mid-November kind of vibes moving forward, Like this is I think the one where the winner's going to say, "Whew, thank God," and the loser's maybe going to be. The loser's going to have 2 losses in a row, and so that's going to be pretty frustrating for that team.
This is the pull the parking brake game. Both teams kind of have to like the Bills have to fully pull the parking brake here. Like they are skidding. Yeah. Okay, they're in a skid. The Buccaneers, if they were to lose this game, it would have been they would have lost 3 of their last 4 games, and the 3 games they would have lost to are the Lions, the Patriots, and then the Bills. Those are 3 teams that if you're going to win the Super Bowl, if you're going to be considered a Super Bowl contender, you have to beat those teams, right?
Yep.
And if you can't beat them in the regular season, it only just gets tougher in the playoffs. Now, I'm not saying just because you lose to a team in a regular season doesn't mean you won't beat in the playoffs. We've seen it all the time, right? But you get the point I'm trying to make. So there's there's trends and then there's stats. Okay. So let's start with a trend, right?
All right.
The trend is that when the Bills were playing great football, James Cook was averaging 6.3 yards per carry, 5.7 yards per carry, and 5.3 yards per carry with games that were over 100 yards rushing. Okay. In his last 2 games, James Cook has averaged 4.2 yards per carry and 4.1 yards per carry. Okay. This Buffalo Bills team, we've talked about it incessantly, Josh. If you've been the beauty about the NFL is that it is a season. It's a drama, right? You can come in. It's like Grey's Anatomy. You can come in on season 32, right? Sure, and you can watch it and you can follow it and you know what's happening. But you also, though, if you have the context of 30, 29, 28, 27, you get the bigger picture. The bigger pictures of these seasons past for Buffalo have been the red zone. They've struggled in the red zone. And the reason is because they haven't Kincaid and Knox, and they've been trying to figure out the tight ends, and the running game hasn't been there. When the running game is there, the Bills score a lot of points. The Bills win games. So that's number one. The trend is James Cook has got to be better, and they got to find more opportunities. Here's stats, though.
Okay.
Josh Allen last season had a pressure to sack percentage, which means every time, how oftentimes could your pressures turn into sacks, of 8%. Okay. It was one of the greatest numbers in NFL history. Okay, it was insane. 8% is wild. This season, it's 22%. He's not getting out of pressures, okay? And Joe Brady has kind of tailored his play calling to we have a quarterback that can get out of these precarious situations, so we're going to have long developing routes down the field. And that's not happening. And so the Bills are getting behind the sticks. And then this turns into last season, we had the whole Stephon Diggs is gone, progression by regression, addition by subtraction, whatever. This year they could use Stephon Diggs. They could really use him. They could use a guy who can get off the line pretty quickly. They could use a guy who's not going to get jammed up at the line of scrimmage. They could use a guy who's going to stretch the ball down the field. They don't have that. For years, for a couple of years now, it's been do the Bills have enough down the field weapons? It's official. They don't.
Yeah.
So that's
kind of coming home to roost with them right now, isn't it?
It is big time. Keon Coleman, I like him. He's a good dude. Not the guy. Keon Coleman's not the guy. And funny enough, they're the dudes who traded the 26th overall pick to the Kansas City Chiefs, who then took Xavier Worthy, who would have been the perfect dude for, Buffalo to stretch the field and use his speed and do all those things. So I think that, I'm never not going to put trust in Josh Allen. He's played way too good of football for way too long for me to be out on him. That'd be the stupidest shit ever. At the same time, though, they didn't score. They scored 20 plus points for 40 straight games. They've now scored under 20 points twice in the last couple of weeks. There's
and Allen is turning the ball over again at a rate that you don't like in the losses. He has exactly 2 turnovers in all of the losses. He has only 1 turnover in their 6 wins. So
dude, they lost to Miami. Okay.
Yeah. Well, dude, that sneak where he got 15 yards or whatever, and then he fumbled it was absolutely ridiculous. That's the type of stuff. They were down, I think 16-6 at that point. And so you're oh, hey, maybe they're going to make this thing interesting. They're going to play with their food, but then they're going to get the dub. They ultimately did not. They played with their food, and then they got their asses kicked. So they got to do better in that. Meanwhile, hey, you mentioned stats and trends. How about this? Bucks have covered 6 straight after a loss. They are 8-1 ATS after a loss over the last 2 years and 13-4 against the spread since acquiring Baker Mayfield. So that's a spot as you get the John Gruden look going. This is a spot where they have usually done a really good job. Really, really good job.
I got money on the Bucks today. I think the Bills win, but I think the Bucks cover. I think 5.5. You're giving me 5.5.
It's a lot of points.
That's way too many points, Josh Peterson. Way too many. I might buy back. I might buy back a point. I might go to 4.5. Seriously.
There you go. All right. So there you go. That's a fun one, man. I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be one of the noon games. Where, right, Matt, are we going next?
This is like the conundrum of me of I never look at what games are at what times. I just go like what's
well,
like
I can tell you
let's do Cincinnati, Pittsburgh.
Okay, perfect. And then we'll get to the big three of the day. I'm surprised that you picked this one. Why did we? Is it because the last time they played it was really interesting, or is it because if the Steelers lose, like we are really starting to wonder not only if they won't win the AFC North, which I don't think they will, but could they lose out on being in first place of the AFC North by the end of November?
I haven't faced a conundrum in the NFC North in years. Okay, because just one of the two teams win it, and then the two teams are shit. I love watching from afar just a division in chaos. Okay, and if Cincinnati were to win this game, what would happen to this division? Right, with Baltimore playing great defense now, they've done the same thing they did last season, where they were terrible to begin the year, and then they've only given up 13 points per game in their last 3 games. Baltimore's defense is finally clicking. Lamar Jackson's back. This, and then Burrow is supposed to be trending, but yet.
Well, so you're viewing this as a potential Cincinnati is going to make things interesting. Is that how you're viewing that?
Yes.
No way. Really? Yes. You think so?
I
With
think
that defense?
Look, they're fucking 3 and 6, right? And if they go 4 and 6, and they get Burrow back, and then they get Trey Hendrickson back. The defense is going to get better. The offense is going to get better. I'm not talking about Cincinnati as like a Super Bowl team.
No. I know you're talking about them as a North contender, which is different than almost anyone I've talked to. Because I'm viewing this, Matt, more as if Cincinnati does this, then the Ravens could be in first place in 2 weeks because Baltimore has the Browns today.
I'm viewing this as if Cincinnati wins this, they're 4 and 6. Then Baltimore wins their game, they're 5 and 5, and then Pittsburgh is 5 and 5. You're telling me that you're going to get your 2 best players back, and through all of this bullshit that's happened in Cincinnati, you're only 1 game back at the playoffs?
I mean, that is pretty wild when you view it from that perspective. It is nuts because we were leaving this team for dead. Remember that stretch when they played the Vikings and lost 48-10. They played the Broncos and lost 28-3. They played the Lions and lost by 13 in a game that I think they were down by even more towards the end of it. And then they play well against the Packers. See, what's funny though, Matt? Even amongst all this, they've only won 1 time since week 2, and that was that insane Thursday night game. They lost to the Jets, and that was the hilarious game when you and Happer and Schaefer were over. And then, of course, they lost to the Bears a couple. I guess I understand what you're saying to some degree, but, man, look at the number of points that they've given up. 48, 28, 37, 27, 39, 47, 31 in a win.
But if Pittsburgh plays this bullshit, we're going to put one guy and play cover 3 on Jamar Chase again. They're going to lose, okay?
I hope so.
And it's dependent on what Pittsburgh defense do we get. Do we get the Pittsburgh defense that only gave up 20 points to the Indianapolis Colts, who are the best offense in the league? Or do we get the Pittsburgh defense that's
6 turnovers?
Yeah. Or do we get the Pittsburgh defense that's given up 30 plus points in 4 of their games this season? What do we get?
I hope that one.
If we get the latter, then Cincinnati's 4 and 6, and they probably should be 6 and 4. I'm not going to say they should have beaten the Bears. They should not have beaten the Bears. They should have beaten the Jets, though.
They definitely should have beat the Jets.
For sure have beaten the Jets. So,
by the way, if they win today and Baltimore wins, which they should, so you mentioned the records, it'd be 5 and 5, 5 and 5, and then 4 and 6. The Ravens via the division tiebreaker, because they would be 2-0 in the AFC North, and the Steelers would be 1 and 2. The Ravens would move into first place. And so they would have started 1 and 5. And 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, they would already be in first place. I mean, you're talking about the Steelers having a chance to really drop off before we even get to Christmas time.
It's funny. The AFC North is what I thought the AFC South would be.
It is a mid-ass division, dude.
Exactly.
It sucks. People are still viewing it through the lens of a few years ago, but it is it's bad. It's horrible. It's a terrible division.
I thought the Texans were not going to be good this year. All right. I was one of the people who I was like, you got regression.
I mean, they're 4 and 5. I feel pretty good. Well, I mean, that's interesting. They have a plus 54 point differential, which is way better than anyone in the AFC North.
When I was with the Texans, though, I was like, I didn't think they were going to be good because I'm like, your offensive line is shit, and it's probably going to be worse this year. And I'm never gonna
get hurt.
I'm anti Nick Wright in the Trevor Lawrence discussion, where it's like Nick Wright is always holding on to his stock. Like, I've been selling T-Law stock since they started like 7-1 or whatever the hell it was, and they fell off a cliff. Like, I'm gonna need to see it to believe it with Trevor Lawrence. And then we didn't know what we were gonna have with the Colts, so I thought like the AFC South was gonna be a shit show. The AFC North is a shit show. It's horrible. And I love shit shows. All right. If you've seen the girls that I've taken out on dates, I love a good shit show.
What on earth?
Just like I just love watching it from afar and just seeing it just have. I just love calamities. I love absolute calamities. And that
put that on a graphic.
Calamity.
I love calamity. Says Matt
I do.
McMaster.
I do. I am a walking calamity in a way.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. You know, when you say I love shit shows and you're talking about going on dates, I mean, you're the guy who doesn't ever remember his keys and you're leaving Monster Energy drinks.
No, but I'm a good date. I'm a good date. You should ask Josh Hodson. Be like, do you think Matt McMaster's a good date?
I mean, I've gone out with you multiple times, and I think I've only paid for my food or our food once, so I would say you're pretty solid. You're usually the one buying stuff.
I love hosting. I love providing things for people. I do. I made you a fucking cobbler.
I know you did. Someday, Matt, you're gonna own a house and you're gonna be like, "Hey, come on over." I've been cooking all day and grilling all day and smoking all day.
If you were to bring in my roommate Dan, okay, yeah. Dan would come in and tell you. Dan would come in and tell you, I have a delicious meal every single Sunday provided by Matt McMaster. Tonight we're doing chicken cutlets with tortellini and a fettuccine Alfredo sauce.
That sounds incredible. You know what? Maybe, honey, I'm going downtown tonight for dinner.
Dude, my place is dressed up as a fucking Buffalo Wild Wings. If I could take this, if I didn't have like 37 pieces to pick up, I would show you that my place looks like a B-dubs. I also
don't pick it up. Your microphone will stop working.
Exactly. I have an awesome collection though. You would love this of Nebraska football schedule posters. Like Matt,
there's a bunch of those in my parents' basement. I'm going to be over there tomorrow for the Cowboys game. I will take a photo of it and send it to you.
I'll tell you, dude, I go to these little shit stores and I go, do you have football schedules?
Explosion.
Yeah. And then I found
my parents had that one.
I found 2004 at a store.
And my parents had that one.
And I didn't buy it, but I want to get it. I also Is Jay Moore on 06?
He was on the 2006.
No. He's on 2016, but I would love to know if he's on the 2006 poster.
Well, back then the defense posters would usually have like all of the projected starters.
Okay.
So he would be him and Carricker and Bo Rood and Corey McEwen.
My number one is I want to get a
Zach
poster
Bowman.
I want to get Jay Moore on one of my posters because he's like our favorite guest that we have on the show. He's awesome. And I want to get I gotta find one of those. So there you go. Nice little segue. Husker football. Nice. Emmett Johnson's awesome. Get him to New York. All right. Game of the year.
Seahawks Rams.
I love you. Game of the year. It's incredible.
I mean,
if you are following the NFL this year, right? Like, let's remove the years of the past, right? Let's remove the Chiefs and let's remove the Bills and let's get rid of the fucking Lamar and the Eagles. Like, get rid of. Forget of everything that you know about seasons past. Let's just focus on this season.
Yeah,
these are the two best teams in the NFL. These are two of the best teams in the NFL, and they're in the same division, and they are playing great football. Okay, you have what I think. If Sam Darnold's name was Patrick Mahomes, he would be he would be the MVP favorite. Okay, Sam Darnold was playing insane football. Matthew Stafford, I was wrong again. What did I say to you in the preseason? I go, no one's ever said I used to have a bad back. Well, I guess Matt Stafford used to have a bad back.
I know, man.
It's gotten better, and he's put his fucking team on it.
That scared me off so much from picking them to do anything of note. Like, I had been toying all offseason. Yeah, all offseason.
Everyone.
I was toying with picking the Rams to have a really great year, and then the back stuff, it scared me away. And so I think I picked them to go to the playoffs, but I did not pick them to do anything once they got into the playoffs. And like, one of the things, so for the record, cards on the table, I want the NFL to change the rule about seeding. I think it should be straight record in the playoffs. I think that a division champ should get in, but I do not think that they should be guaranteed a home game. But I will say the fact that the second place team among these two in this division is going to have to go on the road for their first and probably their second and probably the third. Like, I love the stress of that. And so, like, I saw this stat. According to ESPN research, the Rams have a 50% chance to win the division, while Seattle has a 33% chance. That's currently coming into the day. But if the Rams win today, you ready for this? If the Rams win, their chances of winning go to 66%. Seattle's fall to 19. If Seattle wins, their numbers bump above 50 to 55, and the Rams fall to 27%. So I love the stress of a mid-November game where the winner really starts to feel we're probably going to win the division, and the loser is like, shit, we're going to be the 5 seed most likely going forward. So that is the fun stress about a game like this. I also like that the first of these matchups is in Los Angeles. I would rather have the second one in Seattle because their atmosphere is way better than the Rams's. And so that will be fun whenever that game is played, in a few weeks in December. So, Ferrell says, you love the stress of that? I definitely don't. I love the stress of this as an outsider who doesn't have a rooting interest. That it makes it so fun.
Not my monkeys, not my circus. That's how I treat that's how I treat the script. And also, too, though, like so I didn't know that. That was a great sketch, Josh. It's kind of like when you watch like USC, like next week, USC plays Oregon, right? That's like a playoff eliminator. Like that's a college football playoff eliminator in a way. Yeah. It could be,
especially if Oregon wins, then USC's toast.
It's done. Like, and there are better examples of it, but like college football has improved in a way because there are just these games in late October and early November where like,
USC Iowa yesterday. Exactly. Iowa now is done. Now, I didn't think they were going to make it anyway, but now they are officially eliminated from the college
Nebraska was in it against USC. The Nebraska USC game was hey, this is a playoff eliminator. This is one of those games where it's like, yes, you're totally right. It has a lot of it's in the middle of the year, but it has a lot of implications of how the playoffs are going to be. All right. So let me give you some stats here. So in defensive EPA, the Los Angeles Rams, shout out Jared Verse, are 4th. The Seattle Seahawks are 5th in defensive EPA. In offensive EPA, the Los Angeles Rams are 7th. The Seattle Seahawks are 10th. Okay, these are just two good efficient teams. Yeah, and I almost bursted into your studio the other day when John Bishop said that he didn't know if he trusted the Seahawks defense. I was like,
because of their defense? Terrible take.
No. The Seahawks, Mike McDonald, God bless this guy, because everybody is so obsessed with these like young, hot-looking, coiffed hair, skinny, offensive guys, right?
You're saying McDonald is ugly?
I love
this. Look at this trash ass human piece of shit garbage. He's good.
No, I'm not saying he's Dan Campbell. I'm not saying he's Dan Campbell. That's Dan Campbell. I'm saying that everybody is into these hot offensive coordinators. I love that there's I love there's a hot defensive coordinator now. You know what I'm saying? Sure. I love that because he is an
D'Amico Ryans 2 years ago.
He's slick. He's sleek. He's in shape. He's got good hair. Jet black. He's a McDonald. He could look Italian without black. You know what I'm saying? Like this guy's the guy, right? He's in Seattle. It makes sense. I'm just saying to you. Like I like that. There's a in all seriousness, I like that there's a good defensive coordinator head coach in the NFL. Like I feel like we have been slanting toward doing the whole.
D'Amico Ryans we were reviewing him as the bee's knees like 2 years ago.
Yeah, and he's still I still like him a ton. But what I'm just saying is, I think Mike, we get into these transition periods of like, okay, this guy could be a good head coach, and then he actually is a good head coach. And I think Mike McDonald is fully now into that swing of like could be to he is, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think this matchup is fascinating to me. Dude, I don't have a stat on this, but if you've just been watching LA Ram football, it seems like the most efficient red zone play in the NFL is the Stafford to Devontae Adams fade. Okay. It is just, they get to the 7-yard line and they go set, hit, and Stafford looks right at 17 and he pops it up there and Devontae comes down with it. And it's just, they call it and it works. It just works. And it's those two guys where I watch Stafford and Adams and I'm like, both of you are at the like back half of your career. Could you imagine a 28-year-old Matthew Stafford with a 28-year-old Devontae Adams? And just how fucking beautiful that.
I mean, I believe that was Matt Stafford with Calvin Johnson, I think is what you were describing.
But no, because Devontae and Calvin are two different wide receivers. I'm talking.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like him with a really great receiver at that age, like he had it. He had it.
No, but I'm saying specifically Devontae.
Oh, specifically Adams. I'll give you a couple things. So McDonald on the road has been awesome. 4-0 this year outright. 4-0 against the spread, 11-1 outright on the road in his season and a half, 8-4 against the number. So it's a team that has very much been able to travel and pick up wins. Let's see what's going on with the Seahawks offensive line. Their starting center is going to be out today. Both guards have struggled in terms of pass block win rate. So something to keep an eye on. I love it. I love this game. It should be a whole lot of fun. That is shout out to all of us who have NFL Sunday ticket, because this is not a national game. It's a 3:05 game opposite of the Broncos Chiefs.
If the Seahawks and our guy, we have a Seahawks fan in our chat, Furls. He's awesome. He joins us every single week.
Yep.
Furls, correct me if I'm wrong. If Seattle had a better rushing offense, right, with Charbonnet, it'd be a whole other level. Like, they're doing this and their run game isn't even that good. Like, they are just off of the backs of Jackson Smith and Jigba, Sam Darnold in this awesome defense. Plus 900 to win the Super Bowl, Seattle Seahawks.
Seattle?
Kind of love it.
Interesting. So that's the 3:05 game. Should be a hell of a lot of fun. Looking forward to that one. Battle of the AFC or the NFC West. Winner of that is really going to be in the pole position to take care of business. Speaking of interesting divisions, and we stay out west, but now we go into the NFC side of things, Matt. I mean, look, if Denver beats Kansas City today, you can absolutely kiss Kansas City's hopes of winning the AFC West goodbye. I know that everyone is like afraid of saying the Chiefs are not what they used to be and the Chiefs are going to blah, blah. Like, everyone is just frightened of saying what they can see with their own eyes. And that is, they are not what they have been. And if they lose today, they will be 5-5. And yet, Matt, I think that they are going to win today because I don't think that the Broncos can keep getting away with this. Whoa. I just don't know. Why are they going to be able to get away with it? That said, like, a couple of things that I worry about if you are putting the Chiefs in a pick'em contest. Yes, what's that?
I was going to put my feet up right here and just lay back as you shit on the Chiefs for the next 5 minutes, because this is my favorite weekly segment. But you just pulled a Jesse. What do you mean they can't keep getting away with this?
Their offense has been bad. This is like a rich man's version of the Tim Tebow Broncos, where they would play with their food for 3.5 quarters and then they would somehow win football games. But then they played a couple of teams and they got beat. I just cannot imagine that they are going to be able to do this yet again. But a couple of things for
okay. All right.
I think their pass rush is among the more frightening. Theirs being Denver's among the more frightening pass rushes that I have seen. And not in the, like, they have good players, obviously, but they don't have like a Micah Parsons type guy, right?
Not really.
Like, they don't have like a TJ Watt in his prime type guy. Like, I feel like this is the collective that is doing this and not like an individual. Von Miller, Bronco fans, people forget about Von Miller winning them the Super Bowl. They don't have that guy right now, and yet they are absolutely mauling teams. They have 46 sacks this year, which is 14 more than the next closest team, which is an insane differential. The Chiefs, in their 4 losses, you ready for this? Defenses have hit Mahomes an average of 9.3 times per game, including 15 hits by Buffalo a couple of weeks ago. When the Chiefs win, he has only hit 5.8 times per game. So you're talking about a difference in 3.5 hits on Mahomes per game. So, dude, if they are able to get to him, then I'm going to say, oopsies, I was wrong, and the Broncos were able to take care of business. If not, I think that they're going to be able to do something. I just don't know if the Broncos offense can do what they have done against the teams that they have played lately and then escape with a win versus Kansas City. That's just my perspective.
You hit all the high notes. You're absolutely spot on there. And I think that with Kansas City, it really just comes down to the trenches, which is funny enough because it used to be the opposite. It always came down to the skill players, but it's just like, can the pass rush be great? Can he be protected? I do think that the Chiefs do hold an advantage if they want to go quick game today. They just have the speed and they have the horses to do it, and they have the quarterback that just checks in and checks out and processes that stuff so much better. So the people who are like, oh, Patrick Surtain, like he's going to lock down Rashee Rice, that doesn't freak me out as much because
he's not even playing, right? Isn't he out today?
Is he going to play? I thought we had a caller on our show today that said he was good to go. So maybe I should probably like look things up and not trust callers on the Gary and Matt show. But I thought he was fine.
Well, at least 2 days ago, he was still out of practice.
Oh, okay.
He was still not practicing.
But the point is this. The point is this. I think that if, they have the speed and they have the quarterback and they have the coach to scheme in and out of stuff and be fine. I'm not really threatened about the matchup between Kansas City's offense versus Denver's defense. I'm more so threatened by Denver's offense versus Kansas City's defense. Like, I think that is the matchup, right? To your point.
Yeah. Jab says Bo Nix will throw 3 picks, 2 touchdowns, and Denver will win 14-10.
Now I want to shout out a certain guy, Zach Allen. Do you know who Zach Allen is? Defensive end for the Denver Broncos. He got signed a couple of years ago to this like fairly decent contract, and he came from Arizona. And people are like, "Well, he made a lot of money. Like, why did he make so much money?" He's awesome. Zach Allen has 6 sacks this season, along with 28 total tackles. He's got a couple more tackles for loss. Like, he has been an anchor within that like Denver Broncos D line, and I just always love it when teams sign dudes and they are fully invested in them and everybody else goes, "What the hell are you doing?" And they go ahead and they're awesome. Zach Allen has been insane this year. The linebackers for Denver have been great. Their secondary has been a staple for the last – it doesn't matter what head coach. Their secondary has also always been great. But it just, how many Bover throws are we going to get? Like, that's just what these games always come down to. It's just like I told you, and I told Schaefer this too.
Schaefer's in the chat right now. He says skull.
Fuck you, Schaefer. I've never and Schaefer can attest to this. I was never a Bo Nix guy. I was never in on this dude. I never saw it. I never believed in a quarterback that you could say, "Well, he's better because we're limiting him. He's better because we're running the ball a ton. He's better because, Sean Payton is." No. You're just good because you're good. All right. And like he's not. He's just not that great. He's just not. He's not. All right. And so I never bought into it. I never will buy into it. But he's now, all these people have had all these premature takes from last season to this season about Bo Nix, and they refuse to acknowledge the fact he's just not playing good football. Yet my quarterback stubs his toe on a really, on a play where he's pressured out to the outside, and they say, "Ooh, Caleb Williams is better football."
You're right.
I'm sorry. It's just like whenever we talk about the 2024 quarterback draft class, I just get triggered. Like anytime we talk about any
I'm
of
going to
those
be mad
guys.
because my opinions on Drake May are going to age bad, so I don't like that. I don't like that I'm going to
J.K. Dobbins, though, shout out. I feel so bad for that guy. He's in a contract here, and he's playing some of his best football, and then, of course, he gets hurt again. Like, it is heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
So that is Broncos.
I'm picking the Chiefs, by the way. That probably should.
Yeah, I took the Chiefs minus 3.5 in my pick 'em, so I'm right there.
Shaver just joined. I just want to tell I want to look down the eye. My team's going to win today. I have never been more confident in the Bears' ability to win a football game. And in fact, Josh, you know this. I don't bet on Bears games.
Yeah, you told me earlier. You said you're going to do it. Did you, or you are going to? You're going to leave after the pod, and you're going.
I'm going money. I'm going to Iowa. Yeah, I'm going to go.
All right, sweet. All right, well, let's get to one more game, and then you can mosey your way on over into Iowa because your game is at noon. It's the way that we'll finish the day. Lions at Eagles. A couple things of note in this one, of course. Matt you start, I think, with Dan Campbell taking over play calling last week. Like, congratulations on putting up a lot of points and looking like the Lions' offense of old. But it came against Washington, and the Commanders are a freaking tire fire right now. So, like, I'm curious to see what that looks like. Philadelphia, their defensive line, 21 pressures against Jordan Love. They hit him 8 times. They had 3 sacks last week in the low-scoring affair in that one. And so, now with Phillips on the roster, they're starting to get healthier. What are they going to be able to do this evening? Jared Goff has completed just 50% of his throws with a touchdown and 2 interceptions while being pressured this season. So, like, that's the name of the game. 83% completion rate with 16 touchdowns and 1 INT when he is not pressured. Speaking of Schaefer, I was over at his house a couple of weeks ago to watch the Lions-Vikings game, and the Vikings beat the hell out of Jared Goff, and it caused a whole lot of problems, and the Vikings were able to escape with the upset win. Can the Eagles get to Jared Goff? If they can, I like Philadelphia's chances. If they can't, I certainly think that the Lions are going to be able to move the ball up and down the field. I love now, we didn't get this game last year, which was a bummer. As the Lions were the best team in the NFC all regular season long, and then they got upset in the playoffs, so we didn't get to watch it. We did not get this game 2 years ago when the Lions came on strong, and the Eagles, of course, kind of fell apart as that year went along. It's like we haven't seen this in the Lions are really good era. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And obviously I'll be pulling for Detroit, though I did put the Eagles in my pick 'em. So I think the Eagles are going to win, sadly, and cover this game tonight.
Like, when in doubt, you just kind of pick Philadelphia.
That's how I roll, man.
Right.
And it's paid off kind of handsomely this year. My pick 'em.
It's kind of one of those things where it like we did it with the Chiefs a couple of years ago, and then we got sick and tired of the Chiefs. We're kind of getting sick and tired of Philadelphia. That's happening, and now it's actually
confirm.
It's been accelerated because of the stupidest play in NFL history. Which, by the way, tinfoil hat on. The league wants the league wants the tush push to be banned. They want.
You think they're calling it? You're. Yeah. I mean, it's a fun theory because the inability to referee this play correctly. Like, Matt, I've been watching football for 30 years. I've never seen so many false starts go uncalled.
But they did it in the past. Like, this hasn't happened before. It's not like this play's a novelty. They've been able to correctly officiate it at a way better rate before. So now it's like the fact that it's accelerated. It's like, this isn't new. You've been doing this already. What has made it more difficult? I'm not. I hate conspiracy theories like this in sports. This is one I actually do kind of believe. I like it's. I just can't unsee these things. It's not even close, Josh. It's not even remotely close in some of these false starts. You know, I mean, it's a whole second and a half of the two guards because their helmets are in the neutral zone and the defense is already moving ridiculous. And then the ball is snapped. It's ridiculous. And so, I mean, and then the Packers got called with their own false start, which wasn't even like that was like he flinched on the line.
Because the tush push that they got away with, the false start that they got away with on Monday night, the first one was insane. You had two guys moving at the same time. Let me ask you this about the Eagles.
It's crazy.
So, they got off to the 3-0, 4-0 start, and everyone's like, this doesn't look very good. They're getting away with it. And then they lost 2 games in a row, including that Thursday night tire fire against the Giants, where it's like, yikes, they have taken a step back. And now they've won a few games in a row, mostly against average to below average teams, right? I mean, I think the Packers are still solid enough. Like, what are you seeing from them that's real? And is there any question that you still have in particular about the offense? I think the defense is definitely starting to find itself right now.
When I'm seeing them, they still have a good offensive line. I don't think that's in question. It's not. I do want to say it's not as dominant, but I think that's real. No. I think Devonta Smith is real. What I am doubting from them, and their defensive line is real, and their linebackers are real. The two things I doubt from them will always be the second cornerback because they have just been. It's crazy how many different guys, and now at this point, they've made 3 different trades to figure it out, and they haven't been able to figure it out. And then granted, he had a good game against Green Bay. I still doubt Saquon. I still doubt does he have the legs. I still doubt can he churn it.
It's still so obvious. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just if you've been watching,
just doesn't look
games,
fresh.
He doesn't have the bounce. He doesn't have the burst. No. He doesn't have the explosion.
Every week last year, there's a particular way in which Riss reacted to his long runs. Like I heard that cheer from her 2, 3, 4 times a game. I've heard it twice, 2, 3 times all year.
I know.
From her. And it's just he's not. He just doesn't have the bounce. He just doesn't have the pop in his legs. And I think that's shown itself since all the way back in week 1 when the Cowboys bottled him up, especially in the second half.
And look, this is a team where it's the defense and offense are both 11th. The offense is 11th in EPA. I think the defense, is also 11th in EPA. It's still really good. They're just a solid football team at this point, but it's they can't figure out the second cornerback position. They've done it through draft picks. They've done it through trades. They've done it through free agency signings. They can't figure it out. Saquon doesn't have the burst that he had, but yet they are still incredibly talented, especially on that front seven. They still have a quarterback who's really good at football. They still have 2 top-end wide receivers. And even Saquon not being the Saquon we know, he's still an above-average league running back. Yeah, it's still good. He's just not great.
He's just not the best in the NFL anymore.
I mean, I just think that this team definitely benefits from all of the playoff games that they've been in and all the experience that they've had. And it's it's the cliche, learning how to win, knowing how to win, all that stuff.
Sure.
They have it, though. You can't deny that this is just a team that knows how to win football games. Right. So they have that going for them. At this point of the year, am I would I bet on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl? I wouldn't be confident enough in it to do it, to put any real money on it. I think this entire NFL, and I think you've probably talked about this with Schaefer a lot. is there a great team right now where you're like, holy crap, everybody's trying to fight them, everybody's trying to beat them, everybody's just climbing the mountain to knock this team off? I don't see it. Maybe you could convince me that the winner of Rams Seattle tonight or today would be like one of those games, but outside of that, like it's been a great year in the NFL from the perspective of there's so many teams that I think can win it, but it's also been a weird year from the NFL where it's like you're not really punching up to anybody right now. The teams that we thought you would be punching up to probably won't win their division, and Buffalo and Kansas City.
Yeah, for sure.
More so
and like
Buffalo
the teams that have kind of come out of nowhere or been surprises, like the Colts and the Patriots, like I'm not going to believe it until they are actually doing it, and yet like that can get you in trouble in the NFL at times.
Heading into this season, like nobody wanted to talk about the fact that New England was favored in 11 of their 17 games to begin the year. Like we all were, like we're like, oh, Vrabel for skier, could Drake May, like there was a lot of wishy-washy takes, and like I don't know about the Patriots, but they have an easy ass schedule in which a lot of people thought like you're just looking at the Vegas lines. You're like, wait, their over under is this, but yet they're favored in 11. That seems like a pretty good bet, and they've taken advantage of their schedule to their credit.
Yep, and they probably will moving forward. All right.
Great cover against the Jets, by the way.
Wow, what a game. What a game. That is before the witching hour, week 11, Commanders, Dolphins now deep into the second half. That game will come to a close in the next hour. I'm going to go for a run, though, so I'm not even going to watch the end of that game, but I'll be on my couch for the noon ones, and I'm very much looking forward to today's NFL action. Matt, what a lovely podcast as always. I'm happy that you were able to do this. Good luck finding your keys.
Shit.
You still got to find the keys. I'm going to get you something for Christmas, like a bowl for keys, something to, maybe a thing to hang on your wall that you would just walk in and immediately put the keys on. It's important to do that.
I went to Hollywood Candy the other day.
Yeah, you texted me.
Dude, I'm like, you just said something about like hanging things on the wall. I think I'm going to go back there and blow a whole paycheck and just get a bunch of stuff and redecorate my room.
Incredible.
Dude,
wow, what a life.
I know, man. I had a Japanese barbecue for lunch on Friday. It was
to
awesome.
Be 23 again and to not have budgets and not worry about money. Oh, this sounds amazing.
You know what? Connor Happer told me, he goes, you're not, he was like the Goodwill Hunting scene where he's like, fuck you. You ain't doing it for me. You're doing it. You ain't doing it for you. You ain't doing it because you owe you. You're doing it for me because I'm going to close my eyes in 20 years. I'm still going to be here. You got to go out. You got a gift. That's what Connor Happer did to me. He's like, fuck you. All right. You have to go out and you have to spend it. Cause I told him I was going to like invest in the stock market and save up my money. And he's like, fuck that. Go into debt. He's like, do you? And I go, you know what, Connor? Yes, I will.
It's fun.
So that's what
it's fun. Doing. Yep. It's fun. Well, good. Enjoy your Hollywood candy and all your new posters and your design. But first, you got to find those keys. We'll be back again, I think, next week. I can't remember. We'll talk about it off air. Matt will be going to Chicago for Thanksgiving. So now you just muted yourself. So we'll figure that out. And so we'll give you our sketch coming up in the next handful of days. We have a Volleyball State Live for subscribers tonight at 7:00. Would love to see you there for Jeff and Lincoln's breakdown of Nebraska volleyball as they continue to roll. Let's see. Big Ten breakdown tomorrow with Ben Stevens. National Fun League with Schaefer and me on Tuesday, etc., etc., etc. All right, Matt. Have a great day. Good luck to your Bears. Oh. Yep, your mic's not working. All right. For Matt, I'm Josh. Enjoy the ball today, everybody. We'll talk to you later on. Bye-bye.